What's up, fish gang? Welcome back to Monster Fish Only, aka Mofo Fish, where we talk about monster fish and monster tanks. I'm your host, OGP, and today we're talking about the Jack Dempsey Cichlid. No, we're not talking about Jack Booty Thugs.
We're talking about the Jack Dempsey Cichlid.
Yo, what? DJ, man, run the intro.
This a hit for sure.
Caught some fishes out the pond and I put them in a box. Mix that old sponge with that new one when them filters out the box. Got some monsters in that glass, boy, they really down the box. Said I'm messed up in the head cause I really like to watch. Yeah, I put them in a box. Mix that old sponge with that new one when the filters out the box. Got some monsters in that glass, boy, they really down the box. Said I'm messed up in the head cause I really like to watch.
Now, before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to the Fish Gang. Yes, and if you're new here and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the Mofo like button, get in the Mofo comment section, subscribe to the Mofo channel so we can get this content out to more crazy fish people like you. Every time I start a video, we do a segment for the Gen Z fish keepers. Two types of common names for this species: the electric blue Jack Dempsey and the regular Jack Dempsey. Care level, moderate. Size, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches. Temperature, 75 to 80 degrees. Size, 55 gallons. Water hardness, 5 degrees to 15 degrees. Lifespan, 10 to 15 years. Origin, this is a Central American cichlid. Temperament and behavior, mildly aggressive but can be super aggressive. Approach with caution. Okay, shawty, so let's talk about some fish. Now, the scientific name is crazy. I'll try to say it just to entertain you guys. Rocio octofasciatia. Sounds like a singer from an early edition of American Idol. Who the hell knows? Electric blue Jack Dempsey is a variant of the regular Jack Dempsey. Basically all it means is that it's super blue and it's super cool looking. What ends up happening is that the regular ones, some of them end up having a lot more blue on them. Then you keep breeding and breeding and breeding until you end up with one that's super blue, which is the electric blue version. Now, the reason why they're so expensive, they're probably around like 25 bucks, is because they're extremely hard to keep alive because they are weaker. Have weaker immune systems because they're, not naturally occurring. We are breeding this out of the species. So that's kind of how that works. The best way to keep it alive is to get a blue gene species, which is basically one that has one electric blue Jack Dempsey parent and one regular Jack Dempsey parent, and then the babies from that. Most of those will be blue gene. Then you breed a blue gene one with an electric blue, and then those offspring will probably produce enough healthy electric blue Jack Dempseys. That's enough about that. This isn't a breeding video. The care level, I would say it's easy to moderate. So if you have any type of experience keeping fish, you should be okay. They're fairly hardy species. These guys don't give me any type of issues whatsoever. As you can see, I have them floating around with goldfish. And before people freak out about it, just relax. This is a grow out. Everybody's cool. Everybody's chilling. Be mellow. Be mellow. That's right. Be mellow. Those guys are extremely easy to care for. They eat just about anything you put in there. We will talk about diet in a second. Let's move over to size. Size of the species is going to be anywhere from 6 to 10 inches. Yes, 6 to 10 inches. So the bare minimum tank size you want to have for a fully grown adult, electric blue Jack Dempsey is at least a 55 gallon. And that's a little bit on the smaller side, but at the same time you can get away with it because it is a 4-foot aquarium. So you should be okay. Now, bigger is always better. So you are going to want, if you're going to have multiple species in there and you have a nice big pretty tank, and you really, really, really want to do it the right way, I would recommend at least a 90 gallon. Now, they are going to swim somewhere between the low to middle region, so they don't necessarily need a bunch of free swimming room, but they can be pretty active, especially when they're younger. So the temperature It's just like any other type of traditional cichlid. Anywhere between 75 to like 80 to 82 is kind of going to be the sweet spot for them. I'm not going to really have to get into that too much. They are from Central America, so they like warmer water. The water hardness, I wouldn't mess around with that too much. Pretty much, this is all tap water. This comes right out of the tap. Throw it in there. I've never tried to mess with my hardness of the water. Never. Not a single time ever. Maybe I could be super lucky, you know, wherever I'm at, whatever. I've lived in multiple different apartment complexes, multiple different houses. I've never had to mess with that. So if you do get a wild-caught pair, maybe be a little bit more careful, a little bit more particular about how you move forward. But most of them are bred in the same type of water, which is tap water. Straight up. Throw them in the tank, acclimate them, throw them in the tank, and they should be okay. Let's get into their origin. So it looks like the wild-caught specimens originate from Central America, Guatemala, and the southern Mexico, but hobbyists usually will be buying farm-raised fish. They are often found in slow-moving rivers and canals in Central America. Their temperament and behavior. If given a large enough tank, 55 or larger, you may not see them being overly aggressive. If you cramp them into smaller tanks, like most fish keepers, then they become more aggressive. Watch them closely. Breeding and mating and reproduction. If you have a mated pair, it's very easy to breed them. Give them a pot or a cave or a structure, and the female will drop eggs with the male following after her, fertilizing the eggs. Once the eggs hatch, the parents will move them to a pit and defend them from tankmates. The parents can be very aggressive during this time and do a remarkable job of protecting their fry while they're young. They will breed often and produce hundreds of eggs per spawn. It is important to prepare for this and breed them responsibly. So again, minimum tank size 55 for one Jack Dempsey. You want to go bigger for multiple. Let's talk about Tankmates. Try and keep them with fish of similar temperament, other Central American cichlids. Watch for aggressiveness and remove or use an aquarium divider if necessary. I've kept mine with pretty much every type of cichlid you can think of. It is what it is. I've had very, very, very little issues out of them. So Oscar fish do really well with them. Green terrors do really well with them. I think I even have a firemouth inside of this tank. So you don't really have to worry about them too much in that regard. Just again, if you're going to do something like that, the tank that I have on this side is a big old 125, so they have plenty of space to do what they need to do. Once we get to our new location, we're going to be getting an even bigger tank for all of our cichlids. So this on this side is just a grow out right now, and we're just going to grow out a couple more species, and we're just going to keep growing them out until we have a nice big healthy group of cichlids that will get along and be in a massive aquarium, and it's going to be beautiful. At least that's the goal. The diets. We talk about diets. Pew, 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 pew. Diets. Usually very good eaters. They will take flakes, pellets, freeze-dried, bloodworms, brine shrimp, and especially live food. I feed them this right here. That camera for you. Aquarium. This is like a cure-all for everything. They love this stuff. Matter of fact, bonus. Let's see if we can get them to eat for you. On camera. Look at that. Going after it. Getting after it. Yeah, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. A wee bit more. It's the fun part of the hobby. Everybody loves that. Yeah, that. Also, some of these cichlid flakes, they do really good with those too. When you first buy them, they're huge. So the flakes are awesome. They work really well. Not so much when you get closer to the bottom. They're really broken up and it's kind of, whatever. And they'll eat this stuff. Bug bites, they love this stuff. Massivore delight, the carnivore delight, they like this stuff. And of course, these bug bites, the cichlid formula, it will tear this stuff up. Tear this stuff up. Tear it up. We can kind of talk about the color patterns a little bit. What you see is what you get, pretty much from the store. When you get them small, they are a little bit more gray, but they will grow into much more beautiful blue and silver and purple and green. They come out to be beautiful. The females tend to be a little bit less colorful than the males. I tried to get a male and a female. It's extremely difficult to sex them appropriately while they are still juveniles, but there's a couple little small signs. Females tend to be a little bit darker while they are juveniles, and obviously the males kind of begin to have that little bit of a pointed dorsal fin, so that helps out a lot. You can also pay attention to the behaviors and the temperaments. The males, will kind of still be, exerting that dominance, showing, hey, I'm swimming by myself, I'm keeping this little space to me, digging at the ground and creating little holes and stuff. So look out for that type of stuff while you are shopping for your species. All in all, it's a great species. It's one of my favorites in the hobby. It's a very simple fish to keep. You don't have to really worry about too much. Slap a heater in there, you some good clean, water. I've got 2 filters on this tank behind me, 2 big powerful filters. That's what you want to do for pretty much all cichlids. We got the heater in there. I think this tank is somewhere around like 76 to like 78. Just fluctuates during the daytime. So it's not a big whoop-de-doo. So very simple, very basic. Throw some, some generic fish food in there. You want it to be a little bit more of a protein-based type of fish food, but they'll be fine. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. I'm out the tank. Thanks for watching.